Welcome to a very special episode of All Talk FC. We've got draws on draws on draws. The cups are getting interesting. England have announced their squad for the upcoming boring qualifiers. Danny's got a game for us. We've got some questions off of Twitter. Well done, Rory. And we've got all of our regular fun to get on with. Let's go.
We actually have real questions from real people.
Real questions.
I don't know if they're real people, but we got real questions, that's for sure.
Wow. Got real questions from real people, bringing it to you from the street.
This thing just blew up.
Well, I mean, this is it. Rory came on as a guest last week, and now he's graduated to a full-fledged member because he's the only one that's going to be working on Twitter for us. So there you go. That's the only one that's got time on his hands. So thanks for that, Rory. Congratulations.
We've got to be careful having a social media account being run by someone, because I don't know if you saw this week, Joe Hart put on Instagram that he thought Tottenham won, and woke up the next day doing his whole apology saying it's because someone runs his Instagram, not
yeah, he tweeted job done.
What? Why do you think that?
So he put job done, yeah,
he said, oh sorry, my social media team had got it wrong. They thought we won. They obviously checked the score quickly, saw 3-0, assumed Spurs had won, and then just tweeted job done with a tick.
Why does Joe Hart need a fucking social media team?
That's exactly what I said. That's exactly what I said.
Well, we got one.
No, when he was playing for City, he probably thought, I'm getting some bad pub here. I might as well get a contract, and probably signed himself up for a 10-year contract with the team and realised
Crazy.
Burnley. No good. Yeah, so what do you want to do first? You want to talk about England? Will that be quick, or do you want to talk about their draws, which I think is actually quite tasty?
Let's do England first.
England first, lovely. So Gareth Southgate has released his team to fight to play against the almighty San Marino, who we seem like we play them at least twice a season. I don't know how this thing goes. I don't know if there's any shockers. Do you know, every time I look at an England announcement, I realise, fuck, we're bad. I mean, I don't know if we got spoiled by the golden generation, but it's always tough to watch, especially at centre back. But obviously Trent Alexander-Arnold's not playing. We've got Jesse Lingard who's back, but I think that's because we've had a few players that's injured. But do you think there are any players that have? I don't know. Let's start with an easy one. Here's a layup. Who is unlucky to miss out?
Yeah. Trent, Bamford,
Wan-Bissaka.
I was wondering how long till someone said Wan-Bissaka.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I mean, at right back, Kyle Walker, who I think's past it. Kieran Trippier, I think's
I'm not sure Kyle Walker's past it. If you said it about Trippier, maybe give it to you. Although he's still decent for Atletico, I don't think you could say Kyle Walker's past it. They're still smashing up the league, in for 4 cups, and he's still their right back. City.
Yeah, but I guess if you're looking for England and you're talking about, all right, let's try and kind of instill some players that are going to be. I guess he's got the Euros up ahead, so that's kind of.
Yeah, if it wasn't Euros, I think if the Euros had happened last year, this would be a very different squad, because this is the start of the World Cup qualifiers. This is the start of 2022, isn't it? You start looking ahead, but
yeah, that's what I was about to say. Is it the fact that you can't really put more transitional players, even though Trent's not really a transitional element?
Go on, Mark.
I was going to say, is it really looking ahead? Are any of us looking at this Euros being like, well, who was in a squad for the first 2 qualifiers that we played for the Euro coming up? And it's like, this is his time he should be picking his team, what he's expecting to start. He shouldn't be looking 2 years ahead. He should be looking months.
Well, then why is he picking a Jude Bellingham?
Because he's playing San Marino and Albania. It doesn't matter who he picks.
He's picking him clearly because he's got a chance of coming to. We're playing in Wembley, but going to the Euro 2021. So clear, like there's no looking ahead 2 years. You can't, like, with a tournament months away.
What I was listening to something that the Spain manager was talking about the other day, and that they're planning ahead for the World Cup, but using the Euros, almost using it as one window. So he's only picking players that he believes will be able to play in both. So if you look at the Spain squad, like, he's included Sergio Canales, who's just turned 30. And he's also included some younger players like Dani Olmo and Mikel Merino of Sociedad, who has played really well this year. But then he's actually said that this group of players are the players that will take us not just to the Euros this summer, but will take us to the World Cup afterwards. And then a new window will begin. So looking at players like Canales, he's 30, and you might say, well, how can you plan for the future with him? But then he'll still only probably be 31 or 32 by the time, in 2 tournaments time, after the World Cup is closed. So
is he on your back, Canales? Is that
he
why
is
you
on my
keep
back.
trying-
Yeah,
With,
yeah,
with
he is
these,
on.
what, 4 minutes of the pod, you managed to bring him up. He's on the back of your shirt.
I won't turn around, but yeah, I've managed to squeeze Canales in after 4 minutes. of the
Yeah,
pod.
he's been in the Spain squad for 10 years.
Yeah, he has. He basically has.
Yeah, he actually, funnily enough, he made. This will be the last thing I say about Canales as well. He played in every age group from like schoolboys right up to under 21s, and then didn't make his senior appearance till he was 28, 29. So it's quite nice to see. I mean, he's had terrible luck. He's had an ACL in each knee. He struggled for game time when he was at Real Madrid, and it's nice to see him finally being appreciated as now that he's playing well for Betis, and he looks like a potential starter. Although he is a good player, but also that midfield is loaded for Spain. So I don't know how much he'll start.
If you were a Fantasy England manager and you had the option between Ollie Watkins and Patrick Bamford, who would you have gone for?
That is a really good question.
Thank you.
I actually would go for Ollie Watkins because I think he gives a lot to the team. Like, not taking anything away from Bamford. He's great at pressing. He's got the energy, all of that stuff. But I think that Bamford plays in a system that's built for him, and I don't think England is built for someone like Bamford. Ollie Watkins can win headers. He can play as a number 9. He can play probably with someone else. I think he's probably a bit more adaptable, and he's a bit younger and still coming through. That you'd think a bit like you're talking about planning further ahead. So I can definitely see why you'd pick him over Bamford, but it's not cut and dry.
Mark, Tip Williams?
Yeah, I think Watkins passes the eye test. He looks a bit nicer, like the way he plays. He's a
All
bit-
right, what's this, a football pod or a dating pod?
But it matters. Like Bamford, if purely on form, you probably would lean Bamford should be there. But like when you watch Bamford, you're like, okay, he's a little bit messier, isn't he? Like when he finishes, he looks good, but it's usually a couple tries. So between Watkins and Bamford, I'd probably lean Greenwood. So
Only because he's on your back.
Do you not think there's an?
yeah.
Do you not think? Well, do you know? I get the argument about Ollie Watkins probably fitting the England setup maybe a little bit more, but it looks like we've got a few kind of, I don't know, players that can play with a ball at their feet. Do you not think there's an argument to be made that Bamford is a different option? If you've not got plan A or plan B, then you can chuck in a plan. Or he's plan B.
Is he a different option though? I don't know that he is a different option.
Well, compared to, I mean, I think Harry Kane's got a bit more ability to him. Marcus Rashford, they're not very similar. Yeah, just a bit. Maybe Dominic Calvert-Lewin might be the closest similarity, but just the way in which you described it. If you've got, I think we've got players that Ollie Watkins is going to be a lesser version of the players we've already got, but Bamford is slightly different. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying.
I don't know, because I think when you think of, we want a striker to be a bit different, you think of basically someone you can lump the ball up to.
I was going to say Carroll or Deeney if you want.
Yeah.
If you want a plan B.
Calvert-Lewin doesn't.
That's what I
lose
mean. If anything, we're actually lacking Rashford types. We actually probably need another. And I don't always agree with mix having totally different. Sometimes if someone doesn't perform well, it's not a bad thing to have almost a like for like swap. Like just to be like, all right, you're having a bad day at the office. We don't suddenly then need to tell every other player on the pitch they have to do something different. It's like, okay, we're swapping like for like. A bit like, look at Man City, we say they have a system. It's like, if one goes off and one comes on, they don't have to then be like, all right, guys, Calvert-Lewin's on now. I know we told you to beat a man, but instead just whip it in. It's like you stay consistent. So,
Stones is back in the side. Do you think? I'm looking at the squad now, and I'm like, I really hate our centre backs always in defence. I'm really not a big fan of Dyer, which we said last week. I don't quite understand the Connor Cody thing, to be honest. So if someone can enlighten me, that'd be great.
I like Cody.
John Stones is back, and I've never been a huge fan of him, even though obviously Man City are playing a bit better. Tyrone Mings doesn't do it for me either. Like, but can you really put like a Burnley defender in the squad? Like, I just don't know what you can do.
Who are you thinking? Tarkowski?
Tarkowski,
Ben
even
Mee.
me. Even Ben Mee. Give him a chance.
I mean, it reminds me a bit like when Duncan Duffy for Brighton for a few seasons were like, as a pairing, they were unstoppable. And you just kept thinking, why don't Arsenal just buy those two? Like, just buy both of them, put them a centre back, and then you'll have all your problems. And I think they just work together and in that system and for that club. Individually, you wouldn't say either of them are world-class centre backs, really. And I think a little bit with Tarkowski and me, I feel like with some of those lower teams, I feel like Maguire had that a little bit when he was with with what's his name,
Leicester.
Wes Morgan at Leicester.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're just a really good pairing; they just suit each other. I don't know who Ben Mee's going to in a back three as well, which he's probably never played in his life.
Yeah, I think centre back is probably the position most on the field. You could probably argue goalkeeper, but centre backs, so much of it is about the partnership. You know, you can have an individually good footballer. I mean, I know this is going to sound a bit ridiculous, but I think Mustafi's a good footballer. He's just a terrible centre back. But in terms of technical ability, he can do everything. He's just got a massive clanger in his locker, which is why for the first
putting his bum to the floor, isn't it?
I feel like Gabriel is a bit like that. He looks like a really good footballer, Gabriel, but he's got no common sense.
Yeah, and so much of playing centre back with somebody is about building a relationship over 5, 6, 7 games and being able to say to him, like, right, you go up and win the header, I'll sweep behind you, or I'll sit deep and you slide across and cover the fullback when he goes forward. And that's why players like me and Tarkowski look so good together, and Duncan Duffy, as you alluded to, because they played together for so long. They almost didn't need to be in that constant dialogue. Whereas with a team like Arsenal, they'll stick 4 different nationalities across the back 4, a 5th nationality in goal, none of them able to communicate automatically in the same language, and then change them every 3 weeks and wonder why we can't defend and haven't been able to for a decade.
But we're playing San Marino, Albania, and Poland. So to be honest, maybe all the discussion means nothing because really and truly.
Well, I think that's the only reason that someone like Wan-Bissaka isn't in, because you're not going to defend, right? The reason you have Wan-Bissaka is to defend against the big teams, because actually he does do that really well in the big games.
He's our best defensive.
You're not going to be defending, so
right back. Sorry, he's definitely the best defensively. But also, Poland is the sort of team. Remember, the Czech Republic turned us over about 18 months ago. Poland are the sort of side, you know, Milik and Lewandowski up front.
I think Lewandowski's out though. I don't
Oh, is he really?
Playing. Yeah.
Oh, in that case, yeah, we'll beat them probably easily. But I mean, they've got that Zielinski who plays for Napoli.
Yeah.
They've got a few decent.
They're not the
players.
worst. Aren't they the second seed in our group? Poland? They probably are.
Who else is in?
I have no idea.
Albania, San Marino, Andorra, someone else.
Have we got Andorra again?
I think so. Yeah.
They're a team we play every 18 months.
That's what I'm saying. It's like San Marino and Andorra, who, you know, if they didn't play in the Euros, I'd have no idea they were in Europe.
There's an argument for saying that we could have taken Bamford today because he's probably not going to go to the World Cup. He's probably not going to go to the Euros. But you could start him in a game like San Marino and say, look, have your cap, get yourself a couple of England goals. And that's sort of his reward.
At what point then? Because then you start getting all the clamour for people going, well, he did really well in those games. Playing, yeah, but he's fucking playing San Marino.
I mean, the only reason you do that is to stop him from going to some African country and playing for them.
Well, and this is why I don't know why they didn't call up Ezri Konsa. Like, I'm not saying he's the greatest centre back in the world, but he could become a great one, and he could play for England.
Well,
why not just call him up?
We might have lost Mikel Antonio as well, but Jamaica didn't call him up.
Yeah, that's true.
Unlucky.
I mean, I think
they probably couldn't afford the flights.
I'd love to have seen Wilf Zaha playing for England. I know that I rate Wilf Zaha really highly, but higher than most people. But I think he could have brought a lot to our team.
Yeah, he could have done. He could have done. But the thing is,
I don't think.
Sorry, go on.
Go on. No, I was
I
going to
was
say,
gonna-
obviously he's just playing for Crystal Palace. I think there's a bit of a lag. Obviously, he's playing for Crystal Palace, but I don't think people kind of anticipated him becoming as mature as he did, because he wasn't quite the. I don't think he always had the ability, didn't have quite the attitude. And I think he's actually.
See, I
grown
disagree.
quite a
I
bit.
think that was like a thing that was like perpetuated by the media. Like, oh, he didn't get much of a chance at United. He must have a bad attitude. Like every time I've heard Will Zaha speak, he's come across not only as like really level-headed, but he's intelligent. He always speaks well, and he's absolutely mustard. I mean, you were there, we were there, Chris, the day that he absolutely terrorised the Arsenal back four. I don't think Jenkinson ever played for Arsenal again after that day.
I
And
was- yeah, I
He
was
does
gonna
that
say,
though. He
like,
does that to the big teams, doesn't he? He did it to United. He just when he fancies it, he can turn it on. But
oh,
it's
he's
so
mustard.
rare.
Yeah, when he fancies it, he's about as good as any player you're ever going to watch in any given game. But the problem is that he doesn't seem up for it most of the time. He doesn't use his size and his strength and his ability. He just coasts. But there you go. Let's not turn this into a Wilf Zaha one.
I think
talk
just
about
to
the
finish,
quarters.
just to finich on the England team though, we're
Yeah.
being negative about them, but there's a lot of players in there. There's the Phil Fodens of the world, and even Mason Mount. There's the Harry Kanes. There's the John Stones. Like teams would kill for these players. Really, like
Yeah.
most average European teams would kill
Calvin
for these kind of
Phillips.
players.
Yeah.
Maybe not Calvin Phillips, but like there are a whole bunch of them that aren't in this squad. Grealish and Maddison, whoever else. Like we've got some seriously good young English players.
I mean, there's an argument to say Sterling doesn't even start in our best 11, which would have been unthinkable 4 years
Yeah.
ago.
Exactly.
Like,
We haven't even talked about Saka. Fucking hell.
no. But yeah, we've got so many players that can play like either in the hole or in the wide areas, either up next to a forward or
Sancho's not in the
Sancho.
squad either.
Foden, Grealish and Maddison, who aren't even there.
Greenwood's not there.
Greenwood's
There's
not there.
tons of them. Yeah,
Yeah, well, I guess then we wouldn't really be England fans if he went down on our team. So.
true. We've learned to be down on ourselves, so we're not disappointed.
Very true.
The Champions League draw, when I saw it, I thought that's probably about as relatively even and competitive as a draw as you're going to get. I was a bit disappointed to see Bayern Munich and PSG in the quarterfinals, because I probably would have picked them to be I've probably got them down as the two best teams currently in the Champions League. I don't know about you guys.
Well, this is classic Chris. You see. This is Chris's recency, but he forgets that Bayern Munich PSG was the Champions League final last year.
No, this is look, Dan. I promise you, this is probably the first season in a long time I've really watched and paid attention to the Champions League. And I mean, Man City haven't been up against the sides where they won't do anything else but just what they do and just roll over teams. But I just figured that they were the two best teams I've seen in the Champions League this year. Obviously, that's debatable, and my football knowledge is about as good as a potato. But I don't know.
But in fairness, saying recency bias, that's the Champions League final of last year. The Champions League final wasn't that long ago because it was so late. So
Yeah, it
it's
was
like,
was it September?
Yeah.
oh,
But
end of
also in
August.
saying that, PSG was who was I think PSG were the ones that they lost, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Bayern
Bayern bad.
They pissed their pants on it. So, I mean,
And they're
I mean,
struggling as
but
well
if-
at the minute domestically too.
But it's more Bayern don't beat teams, they demolish teams.
Yeah,
Like,
they're
they
ruthless.
look, you could argue Arsenal have never recovered since the 10-2 that Bayern. No, but they Barcelona haven't
Barcelona
recovered since
haven't.
7-1.
Yeah.
it's like a boxer who's taken too many headshots in one fight and his career's just changed.
Yeah, there are certain boxers. They're like, oh, people put up their best fight against him, yet afterwards, whoever he's fought, they lose their soul. Like there is something about it. It's like Bayern seem to make teams take a while to recover. So
That
losing 1-0.
that tends. Do you remember? Does anyone remember the one where Robin was playing out on the right, and whoever it was down our left just kept showing him onto his inside onto his left foot, and he scored twice with the exact same goal. I'm still having nightmares about that game. It was probably 4 or 5 years ago now, but yeah, that shows why tactically Arsenal have never been able to cope with Bayern, because we do things like show Robin inside onto his left foot, and yeah, we have never really recovered from that. We were battered.
Well,
Because every other
No,
time Arsenal got battered by Bayern, they had a very heroic second leg and then would just go out. But that was the first time where I think even Arsenal fans were like, do you know what? Second leg, we'll score 3 and lose 4-3. And then you end up conceding 6 or whatever. And it was like, oh, okay, this isn't the same Bayern who at any moment could win 3-0, but also lose 3-0.
That was like Bayern money back then as well. I don't know if you remember, there was a time where every time an English team played, like I remember Spurs played Monaco the year Monaco got to the final in the group, and Monaco were like 9-1 to beat Spurs at Wembley. And I remember thinking, well, that's worth a tenner. Sticking the tenner on, and then them playing away in Monaco, and then they're 11-1. And I was like, well, I'm going to put another tenner on that. And it was just ridiculous. Like every round, I was just putting money on Monaco.
Like the Mbappe Monaco.
The Mbappe, Kimpembe, who else did they have? Sidibe.
Oh, I thought
Fabinho
you meant
as
the
well.
year. I thought you meant the year Monaco got to the final in 2002.
Mor-
I was like,
Morientes.
we were like 12 years old.
We were like, yeah, I was 12 in the bookies.
A tenner was,
Yeah.
was his pocket money for the week. That's why it was so much
Yeah.
money.
No, did they get to the final or did they get to
No,
the semi?
semis. They lost.
Sorry,
to
yeah, that's my fault.
Leverkusen.
Wasn't it Morientes that was scoring all the goals for them? Is that
Mhm.
right?
And Morientes, I think, was on loan at the time as well. I don't even know if he was permanent
From Liverpool, maybe? Or was that?
or Madrid.
I can't
I can't
remember.
remember. I was only a pub.
But the thing we haven't said, the most important point, is how many English teams are in this, and how we like. You look at that draw. I know Liverpool aren't great at the moment, and Real Madrid are half decent at the moment. So I think that's a tough draw. But you could conceivably look at that and say, well, at least 2, maybe 3 are going to be in the Champions League semi-final out of 4. Then you look at the Europa League, and there's probably 50% of that semi-final is going to be English. You'd hope.
I think you could easily say Liverpool, Man United, and Arsenal are in the final, and it's just whether City make it there. If City can turn over Bayern in the semi.
I don't know. I would be willing to stake a lot of money at the minute that Arsenal do not get to the final. I just think.
We jumped onto the Europa League here.
Well,
So
yeah,
we're just saying.
Seamless that was.
Yeah.
I totally missed that transition. I was falling asleep.
Well, we were just deciding on out of Bayern, PSG, or City, who was facing Liverpool in the final.
Okay, so
Well,
if you had to go right now, who wins? Who wins both competitions?
Right now,
Bayern Munich.
let me go. Right now, for me, Bayern Munich, and I really want to say Arsenal just for the crack. But do you know what? Dynamo Zagreb, no. Man United. I have to go Man United, I think. Man United.
Mark.
I think Man City and Arsenal.
Oh, thank you.
I think the Europa League semi and final will come at a time where Arsenal don't really have much to play for.
No, do you know, that's like
No,
a
no.
backhanded compliment.
No, but it's true though. Like, you see, you say the Europa League affects league form,
Mm.
but Arsenal's league form's already at a point now where if they get, like, they can prioritise the Europa League. So
It's an interesting thing you say that, because I wouldn't be sure if Arteta would do that. I feel like he would still put his strongest side out in the Premier League for some reason. Some managers tend to just, whatever the cup game is, it's like, all right, this is our cup game squad and we're just going to put them out as we usually do. I'd like him to prioritise the Europa League, particularly as, I don't know what we're really...
I don't know. He quickly prioritised the FA Cup last year, didn't he?
Yeah,
Like,
I guess. Go on, Robbie, who do you think?
I think it's hard to look past Bayern Munich. I think they're, absolutely loaded with talent. They're well coached. They just don't seem to. Every time I watch that BT Sports score on a Saturday afternoon, and they just seem to win 5-0 every week. I mean, they went down to 10 men after 10 minutes this week and still won about 4-0.
Got a half an hour hat trick, and they were down to 10 men after
Yeah,
5
just
minutes.
down.
You're like,
Yeah,
what
it's
is
just-
going on?
It's just almost not fair. And Lewandowski's actually getting better. Like, the older he gets, the better he's getting.
Very.
So I'd say I find it hard to look past them. And then I'm going to throw a cat amongst the pigeons for the Europa League and say that Unai Emery's Villarreal.
I was going to be my one as well. I think
yeah.
Villarreal.
Get it done. I think he's got the experience. I think they're a decent side. They're one of the few sides in Europe with actually 2 real good poachers in Carlos Bacca and Gerard Moreno. They've got Danny Parejo in the middle of midfield, who, at his age, I'd love to see him. I'd love to see him win something. So yeah, I couldn't begrudge Unai Emery after the treatment he got at Arsenal from winning another Europa League.
Can I just say though, I think that Granada against Man United is probably going to be a tough one for them. Right? I don't think it's going to be easy in the slightest. So they might have a tough time with that if they get through.
I think we'll get through, but it'll be a tough. If we approach it thinking we'll win, we're in trouble. But if we take it seriously, we will beat them. But they are.
Do you know what's funny? I think like both Arsenal fans and Prague fans will look at the other team and go, "Oh, I'm so happy with that draw." Like the two easiest teams, isn't it?
I mean, that Granada side. I mean, 2 years ago they were in the Segunda. After a really horrendous relegation, like they went down without a whimper. And they came up last year, and
who's a whimper play for?
They came up, they snuck into Europe late on, and they were like the surprise package, and they've just carried it on this year. With like,
you've got to remember though, they just lost to Molde in the second leg. Like they only just got through, and they just lost to Valencia in the league, who are dog shit. I mean, they're okay, but they're not. Let's not get excited.
I love that Danny's just Googled the fixtures and realised, oh, actually, they're not as good as I thought. I was like, I was just listening, thinking, what? All right, let me hear why you think Granada's going to be a tough result. And then I could see Danny's like, oh, actually, it's only because they had a player sent off, they beat them.
I was looking at their current form. I was wondering how they were doing. And then I realised, because they had a good season, they had a lot of red cards, but they had a good season.
Yeah.
I can't believe how many red cards they get.
Yeah. They're very defensive. They're like Atletico Madrid light, but maybe with Soldado's just like they're fox in the box, like 40 years of age, still getting goals. They've also, I can't remember who it is. Oh, Maxim Gonalons in the middle of midfield. I don't know if you remember him. He played for Roma and Lyon. He was like a really highly touted youngster, but he's about 32 now as well, and he's in the middle of midfield pulling strings for him. So they've got
Kennedy from Newcastle.
Chelsea. Yeah, the old Chelsea player as well.
And Yangel Herrera, he's a good player. Even still, I mean, yeah, like I said, I think we'll get past them, but I don't think it'll be as easy as everyone thinks.
No, I agree with you. I don't think. I mean, I don't know if any of you or any of our listeners follow Mark Goldbridge on Twitter.
No, thanks.
But obviously, the disrespect. He was talking about the semi-final against Ajax like it was a foregone conclusion. And I mean, I'm quite neutral about Man United. I like to see them do well as much as any other English team. I certainly don't hate them, but actually reading his comments made me think, oh, I'd love to see Granada turn them over now.
But you don't really believe he supports United. Like these accounts, like certain Arsenal fan TV, it's like they just have to be so extreme in their point that even if they actually want to be wrong because it'll get them more money.
Yeah, I can see that.
His video clip of him saying how crap Granada will suddenly get hundreds of thousands of views. So
and if Granada knock United out, it will probably go viral and we'll be seeing it for months. A little bit like, have you seen that girl that supports Tottenham?
I haven't, but I've seen her as a joke in terms of like it all went wrong at this point.
Yeah, that's what I mean. She was talking about, you worry about Brighton and Fulham, and was just gobbing off, and then Spurs then went and lost against Brighton or drew against Brighton, and she's just turned into a meme. But she's now got about 60,000 followers on Twitter. So who's the real winner?
Well, I feel like I was in line to become one of those people, and that's why I surrounded myself with you guys. So it's big of a joke. Here we go. Should we do the Champions League draft while we're here talking about the Champions League?
Well, I was looking at this earlier, and am I right in thinking I'm the only person that needs to do it?
No, we all need to drop one team. Your team's a given, and you get the first one. So you get to drop a team, which we all do, and then you get first dibs at swapping one of your teams. Makes sense?
Right. It does, but obviously the only team right now I can pick is Chelsea. If I'm going first,
no, you drop, then Mark drops, then I drop,
and then I pick.
Mark picks, I pick.
Got it. All right.
Swap if you want, Marva. So
I like that.
You're dropping Juventus, am I right?
Let me think about it. Yes. Well, Atalanta are out as well, aren't they?
Are they? Oh my god!
Yeah, they lost to Real Madrid.
There you go. Look at that. I can't see my bloody thing. Look at that. Why can't I?
Well, I was thinking you've got 9 teams listed, and there's obviously it's a final 8.
Yeah, and the thing is, I can't change my tab now because I can't see it anywhere.
Don't worry, that's fine. I'll drop. I mean, it doesn't matter, but I'll drop Juve then.
Oh, Danny, how did your team get so bad?
Do you remember I said when we came back after we hadn't done the pod in ages, and I looked at it and I was like, How on earth did I have this Champions League draft?
Oh yeah,
here?
so you've not got them, and you've not got Atalanta.
Yeah.
There you go. So these are the teams that are left. Mark, who do you want to drop?
It's oh
Tough one.
yeah, because
Well-
I'm like I feel like I'm gonna drop. This is
What, can you
Proper
stop
road
moving the
here.
screen around? You just stick
No.
on one.
I like it. Look at that.
this
There
is
you
this is
Sophie's
proper-
choice. Sophie's choice here. Come on.
I
Get
am
rid of
gonna
Porto.
I'm doing it. I'm going to drop PSG.
Wow.
I'm taking them.
Massive.
If you want to know
difference.
my logic, it's PSG have to get through Bayern and Man City,
Yeah.
and then Porto gives me a team on the other side of the draw. So
No. Do you know? I do get that. I'm only joking. It's I mean, look, you've got some tough picks, and you're just trying to get the most points for the most games, isn't it? So
yeah, I
makes
could
sense.
potentially now have a final between my two teams where I couldn't if I dropped Porto.
Yeah, no, I get that. And to be honest, I think there's been a few choices you've made this year where we've been like, what the fuck is he doing? And
At that time, he chose Mönchengladbach and they went and won 7-0 or something.
Yeah,
Ridiculous.
So yeah, we won't judge you there. I'm going to drop. I'll keep Bayern Munich, that's for sure. Just Real Madrid and Liverpool. It's funny that they've been drawn together, so I've got to decide who I think is going to win.
is Hazard out for the season now?
Oh, is he? Someone tell me, please. Talk to
I don't
me.
think honestly, it makes no difference. Has he even played this
This
season?
guy's killing me.
I think he's played like 20 times for Real Madrid ever.
Yeah, in like 2 years. I mean, it
Like,
literally doesn't
it's
happen.
scary. It's scarily bad. His stats.
Really.
Yeah.
Do you know what? It's weird because following the Premier League, you get to see the teams more. So I've got more of a judgment on Liverpool not playing well for them. But because I do a lot of accumulators and you keep track of results, Real Madrid on paper, I mean, I'm not like you, Dan. I don't just look at stats and think, oh, this is the one I'm going for. Real Madrid on paper, especially with the results I've seen, have been up and down as well. So it's so difficult. Do you know what? Let me just go for Liverpool. Fuck it. There you go. Let's just-
Real Madrid, he's played 25 times for Real Madrid since 2019 when he signed.
yeah. So
That's a shocker.
Dan, you get to pick up any one of the 1, 2, 3 teams. Is that? Yeah. Who would
Yeah.
you like to pick up? That one,
Well,
just put them there. How about
why are you putting PSG in mine?
I don't know. I think Danny might go Chelsea.
Oh!
Why would you? Yeah.
I thought it was a given. I thought you were saying that.
Well, I didn't realise that Real Madrid was going to be free. And now,
Mm.
do I want Chelsea? So Chelsea will get through Porto, which I guess is what I'm betting on here. Do I think Real Madrid will beat Liverpool? Yeah, I do. Do I think Chelsea or Real Madrid? That'd be a tasty game. I
Come on,
think
Dan.
I think Chelsea are just really strong defensively. I'm going to go with Chelsea. I'm going to do it. Come on, English teams.
Wow, he's gone
You
for
are-
Chelsea.
It's surprising how much higher you rate Chelsea than Liverpool.
At the moment, yeah.
I just think I watched Liverpool in the Champions League, and I'm like, they're clearly a team where the managers lost them in the league, but in the Champions League they'll still turn up. Like,
Well, I can't pick Liverpool anyway, so
it's weird to call them my outsiders, but they kind of. I feel like Liverpool are the outsiders for the Champions League.
well then either way, I'd pick Real Madrid or Chelsea. They've got to play Liverpool. So
Mark, are you standing pat?
So I've dropped PSG. Do I swap Porto for Real Madrid? I don't fancy Real Madrid against Liverpool. I'm hoping. Well, do you know what? I'm sticking with Porto. Do you know what? Maybe the new manager bounce for Chelsea will have worn off by then.
Yeah.
So
maybe.
And I'm gonna stick with Bayern Munich and Liverpool. So there we go. Do you know, I've seemed to have got myself in a bit of a pickle because I've taken away the. Oh, hey, there we go. Lovely. Stop sharing. Are we back?
Yep.
Hey. Results League.
Oh yeah.
Don't forget about that. We've got our Results League here. Look at this. So much technology going on here. It's amazing.
So much going on right now. I can't keep up.
I know it's going on YouTube. It's making me think. I'm probably going to watch it and think I've done too much here. Especially, I'm the most computer illiterate person here. But there
I
you
mean,
go.
I've been getting a headache with the switching screens. So
Right. So last week, me and Mark both went for Leeds. 3-0 for Mark and 2-0 for me. They went, and I told you with Maya, they might have a chance of scoring, even though it wasn't him. So I should have gone for 2-1, but there you go. We got 2 points, one for the away, one for the. I don't know why I've done away one for you, Dan. Sorry, that's a lie. 2 points there, and then Danny got his result right, but he didn't get the score right for Brighton
Close,
versus Newcastle.
close.
Very, very
Trossard's
close.
finally showing what he's made of. He's a good
Yeah.
player, Trossard.
He's not bad for a Brighton player. Right, have we got? Have you got your ones for next game?
I've picked mine.
Have you?
I have just done
That's
it.
good. Who are you going for?
I need to pick Crystal Palace. And Everton are really hit and miss at the moment. So I'm going to go for a big, shocking away win here. Palace away at Everton. And I'm going to go for a sneaky Roy Hodgson 1-0.
I think that's pretty good, to be honest with you. I wouldn't say that's like the biggest upset ever.
It'd be a pretty big upset for Everton if they lose to Palace.
Did you say 3-0?
1-0. 3-0. Calm down.
I'm going to check the odds on a Palace win for that game as well.
Mark, have you got one?
I need to pick Liverpool to win. They are away to Arsenal. So I'm going to do Liverpool to win away from Arsenal. And I'm going to go... You never know what Liverpool will turn up. But I'm going to go 2-0. Let's just keep it sensible.
No Arsenal goal. Okay. There you go. And that's away as well. Just to go with you guys, I'm going to go for an away fixture. No, I'm going to go for a home fixture. That's a lie. I need to pick Man City to lose. So it's not likely. I'm not doing it like a big bold prediction, but Leicester City, why not? If there's any team that looks in the league that they might be able to get a result, even though it's probably going to be some stupid team like Fulham or something, I don't know.
You know what we should do?
What should I do?
We know what we should do is that because every week we're putting on a bet basically for 3 teams. If we put on 3 if we put Leicester, Palace, and Liverpool,
70-1.
there you go.
I was checking it before you said 7-0
We
to 1.
could just if every week we just stuck a quid or fiver on it or something.
On what? On results?
On the 3 of us getting the right result. Last week we'd have all won, although there was only 2 results.
Yeah,
but
I was going to say, if you look back, how many times that actually happened?
Yeah.
Well, look, we got once here. No,
another one there, week 24.
Twice here.
Week 24.
No, that's not week 24.
You only need it to happen about 3 times
Oh
a
my
season
God.
to pay for itself
1,
anyway.
2. Danny, you might be onto something, mate. That's outrageous.
Yeah, it's
Another
not going to
one
be.
there.
It's not going to be
Week 17.
17-1 like every week.
No,
Okay,
but you might
yeah.
get 20s.
Yeah, we might get a half decent shout. I reckon
that doesn't quite work, but there you go.
I reckon we start putting a couple of quid on it each week.
Do you know what? Do you know what we should do? We should do a syndicate. Put a tenner each or 20 quid each, and we might be all right. Should we do that?
Yeah.
Oh, quality.
The All Talk Syndicate.
Yeah, the All Talk Syndicate. Yeah, lovely.
People can join.
Oh, fuck them. No, the money's for us. To bring this pod up. Do you know what I mean? We need some new equipment. We need to get
Can I just remind listeners that these are the thoughts of Chris Alley and not that of the podcast.
When the fun stops, stop.
Yeah.
All right, see you guys next week. Bye.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Should we do my game?
Yeah, please.
We'll
Yeah,
probably
yeah.
be here all night at this rate.
If we have to.
To be fair,
You know what?
Dan, this pod isn't going that long. We were just talking for about half an hour before we start recording.
You're right. Mark didn't turn up. You're right. I forgot.
He's too busy spending his millions from his Cheltenham.
It's Danny flip flopping. I saw Danny said 8 o'clock, so I thought I'd have my dinner. And the next thing I'm like, I've got 2 minutes. I was like, oh.
You've got to be always on, Mark. Always on.
Yeah.
Right. Funny enough, actually, you kind of mentioned this earlier, Rory, really randomly. And I was like, as if you've mentioned that. This is
Your nice haircut.
yeah. No, this is a very last minute, 5 minute to go special.
I'm joking.
Yeah, right. I know. We have played this kind of game before, but on on Valentine's Day in 2005, Arsenal became the first English club to name an entirely foreign match day squad, including the substitutes. They're the first ones to do it. My question is going to be, can you name them? You're going to take it in turns, going round, and you're going to name who you think was in that 2005 squad for Arsenal. There was no Englishmen in it.
2005 squad on just a random Valentine's Day.
Who did they play?
What it was? Good question. Who did they play? Let's find out.
Valentine's Day 2005.
Crystal Palace.
Mark, do you know what, Dan? You know this is usually my game, right?
Was it Southampton?
It's very difficult to find a game that is relevant enough for this starting 11, and you've clearly shown you have not put the time in.
It was Crystal. Oh, by the way, you will know all of these. Like
Of course
you'll
I
know.
will.
They beat Crystal Palace 5-1.
Told you.
He's researched this. I can tell by the look on Mark's face. He's got
No,
something.
it's because
up his
Danny
sleeve.
started the game by saying Arsenal played Crystal Palace.
Oh,
It's like
fuming.
No, I didn't.
you definitely
Did I
said
say-
Crystal Palace. I did not pluck that out of nowhere. So
Yeah,
it was-
Honestly, I didn't even know who it was. I didn't say it. I didn't know who it was. I had to look it up.
How does it work? Do we go around in circles?
So
and
we're going
each
to go
bit?
around in circles. Chris, you're going to start.
Okay, go on.
We're going to go
Maybe
around. Go Chris, then Mark, then Rory, just because that's the direction you're in my screen. And then you're going to have 3, 6, 9. 12.
Hey,
You're
do
going
we,
to get
do
four.
we, do we
four
go around
guesses
in
each.
circles?
You're going to get 4 guesses each, one at a time. Keep going around in circle in order. You get 4 guesses each. If you get it wrong, you lose that go.
The thing
If
I
you get
hate
it right-
about this game is I'm going to say someone and then it will just immediately trigger what time period it was and you'll remember Arsenal
Well,
players with that player.
Exactly. So
It'd be for Rory, not me. It's not how it
Chris,
works.
I think Rory
Wait,
might be all
Dan,
right.
can I just ask though? This is a circle, right?
a circle.
Yeah, we go around in a circle.
Yes.
All right, cool.
So, and if right, Chris, you're first. You can name. I'm looking. There's 16 players because subs as well. Although good luck with them.
2005.
Yeah, non-English, full foreign squad.
Yeah, all right. I'll go for the first one. I'll go for Cesc Fabregas.
That is correct. He was actually on the bench, but I'll give you that. Correct.
You
Fabregas.
have to give it to me. I got it right.
Mark.
All right. 05 Valentine's. So this was just after the Invincibles. I'm going to go with Colo Torre.
Correct. Colo Torre was at centre back. Rory.
I am going to go for the man they called Ralph, whose last name was Loren.
That is correct. Loren. Good shout. Chris.
Now I'm lost.
What, after one round?
I'm gonna go for Gail Clichy.
Correct. Gael Clichy. You got the full back line already.
That was touch and go, that was.
Yeah. So 0405. What was the year Arsenal had that the last season? I thought it was 0506.
That was 0506.
Yeah, so it's the year before that. So they still had a
Oh.
certain
You just say that.
Thierry Henry. So I'll go Henry.
You are correct. They had
So
Thierry
frustrating.
Henry up front.
I know I should have said that one.
Go on, Rory.
I will go for number 7, Bobby Perez.
Correct. Robert Perez did.
The only thing was he did his ACL one of those years and missed the whole latter part of the year, and I was worried it was that year, but I've got a feeling that was the Invincibles year.
No, that was your.
No,
No, well, I don't want to say too much, but I know what. Yeah, it's
different. Chris, you're up.
Chris is flapping already. I can tell by
Good.
I am. Well, the problem with me is as soon as I've got one name in my head, I can't think of anything else, and I'm just going to sound like a right idiot. But the way you lot have just been going on, I'm going to go for Dennis Bergkamp.
Correct. Dennis Bergkamp up front with Thierry Henry.
Oof, lovely.
This was a very famous year in Arsenal's history.
Why was it a famous year?
They got to a certain final.
Yeah, FA Cup. No, Champions League
Champions
final was
League.
the year after.
Oh no, Champions League was
04.
06.
05.
With
It was two, oh, it was Liverpool's year this year.
It was
wasn't it?
Liverpool's
Okay.
year, it was 05.
yeah, this was Istanbul year 2005.
Yeah.
All right.
He did
so
beat
total-
Southampton in the FA Cup, though.
Yeah. Total foreign
actually,
team.
yeah.
So you would have had a foreign goalkeeper. I'm going to go with the German. I'm going to go with Jens Lehmann.
That is correct. It was Jens Lehmann.
Love
I was
Rory's
saving-
face there.
I was saving Jens Lehmann
Yeah.
as like one that I was hoping people had forgotten. So is this sudden death, by the
He
way?
come-
Once you're
he
out,
comes-
you're out.
I would have been a great shot.
No, everyone gets 4. So, but if you all get 4, then we'll keep going, and then yeah, you'll be out.
Okay.
Because there's only 16 to pick from. So
In that case, I'm going to go for underrated utility man who could play right, left, or through the middle, and was signed from Bordeaux, Mr. Sylvain Wiltord.
incorrect.
Oh,
Correct. Yeah.
Incorrect.
I've had a mare.
A
An
chance.
absolute
A
mare.
chance.
Why?
I-
What was it? Do you know why?
I have no
Hold
idea.
Why? Why?
Well, like, had he left by then, or was he just?
Why?
I feel like he left by then. I feel like he.
I
left
think
by
I thought he'd left by then. Let's look up Sylvain Wiltord.
Let's have-
While you're
no,
thinking,
no,
Chris,
we'll do it after. But don't
I'll
be
do it
googling
after, do it
Silver.
after.
Yeah, let's.
Let's just put it down there. I've got 2 names in my head.
only say one of them.
Well, I'm just trying to think what's more likely that someone's going to come up with, and one's a bit of a risky one. I'm going to go for. This was 05. Right, this is so dumb, but I'm going to go for the big German's backup, Almunia.
That's what I was going to say.
That is correct. Almunia was on the
no.
bench. That is a great shout, Chris. Great shout.
Oh, he's having the game of his life here. Goodness.
Unbelievable here, Chris. So we've got 1, 2, well, yeah, quite a few still left. Come on, Mark.
Oh, there's so many I can think of. But who would have been there? So,
Was you thinking of the goalkeeper there, Mark?
Yeah, I knew Arminia was on the bench because
Yeah.
I always thought it was weird that he got promoted to be number 1, like
Yeah.
rather than they signed him to be number 1. I just can't think who would have been partnering Colo Torre because I have a feeling I do, but
Off on
it's
that,
too
innit?
it's too much a risk to go for who was partnering Torre. But I have a feeling I might know.
You might need it later on at this rate.
Yeah, in midfield. When did he must have played up because I remember him being brilliant in the Champions League final. I think he was Arsenal's best player, so I'm going to go with Freddie Ljungberg.
Incorrect.
No,
Oh
Freddie
no,
Ljungberg
Chris
is
is going to
not
win.
in the squad. Rory.
I will go for the Brazilian Gilberto Silva.
Was not in the
No,
squad.
What?
no, Rory, you're thinking of the other Brazilian, Denilson.
Yeah, no, that came way after.
Was not in
Gilberto
the
Silva
squad.
not in the squad.
No,
I've had a mare.
Was Denilson in the squad? That's my
No.
answer.
no, Denilson was not in the squad. And you've actually
Wait.
Chris, you've won because it was first to 4, and you've got all 4,
Oh,
and you didn't. But you can carry on if you think you can get any more of these.
yeah. Let me say the
Oh.
centre back.
Go on then.
Is it? There's 2 names that spring to mind, but I have a feeling this one may be William Gallas.
No, it's
No.
Campbell.
Is it?
It's
No,
Campbell.
No,
Campbell's
no.
English.
No, listen, it's Silvestre.
No,
No.
Chris, it's your
It's
favourite.
Pascal Segan.
It's Pascal
I knew it, that
Segan.
was the two,
That's
yeah. I should have said Segan. I knew it was too
It's
much
no.
risk.
Danny, was Philip
Oh my
Senderos on the
God,
bench?
how is that? Believe it, I've got it.
Philip Senderos was on the bench, yeah.
And Vieira was in that team as well.
And Patrick Vieira, no one said.
Wow.
No one said Robin
I'll
Van
say
Persie. Robin Van Persie, no
Yeah,
one
that
said.
was going to be my answer next.
No one said Jose Antonio Reyes. Edu was probably the Brazilian you were thinking of. And yeah, Pascal Segan was the other one. And then the last one on the bench was Matthew Flamini.
Yeah, I thought Fleming. Because the problem was is 04 was Invincibles and then 06 was
Yeah.
Champions League finals. That's a bit of like a
I
nothing
think
year.
they won the FA
Wiltord
Cup.
left after the Invincibles. Wiltord left in 2004.
Oh, did
Was
he?
that the year? Was that the year we battered you in the final and then you won on penalties?
Yes.
Yeah,
Vieira
exactly.
scored the winner.
Ronaldo was crying his eyes out. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm very proud of that win.
I'm supposed to be
congratulations,
too
Chris.
cute.
Well done, Chris. Well done.
Against Rory as well, Rory Duffy.
And an
I tried-
Arsenal.
I tried to be too cute though. I had Vieira And
I
Senderos
knew
up my
Seagan.
sleeve.
I knew. Do you know? What? I didn't know that was Seagan behind you, Chris. But
Yeah, it's not a great picture.
I was
Ah.
thinking the whole time he's right behind you.
I'm just happy. I think the Almunia one got me that one. Yeah, got him
Yep.
up there.
Congratulations, well done, guys. Good game.
When did the Nilsson get signed in? I felt like the Nilsson
Like
was
2008.
really good, man.
Do you know where he is
Time
now?
just flying. Gone.
He's playing in Malta, and he's only 31. So
No,
this guy
he's
that
not
played,
31.
yeah, he's 31, and this guy that played like nearly
He's
100 games.
33. He's 33. He's born, in fact, yeah, he's just turned 33. He was
Oh.
a few weeks ago.
But to be playing in Malta at that age, after
Yeah.
playing 100 games in the middle of midfield for a supposed massive European giant, to have
Used to-
slid that far,
He was
He
at
used-
Arsenal from 2006 to 2013.
I bet he
and then
played.
went straight to
he-
Sao Paulo.
I bet he played
used to
nigh on
fin-
100 games, didn't he?
96 appearances. Yeah.
96 games. This was Wenger's biggest fault for me. He did not get rid of his duds. He played like the likes of Carl Jenkinson has got 70 odd games. Denilson has got nearly 100 games. Senderos is probably not far off 100 games as well. And yeah, outrageous.
used to finish top 4 for fun with that team.
Yeah.
The
Although,
Nilsson
to be
never.
fair, I could
The
probably
Nilsson
look
never
Newcastle
struggled to
Fabregas
finish
next
top
to me.
4.
But he did have Cesc Fabregas next to him.
Senderos had 64 appearances, 4 goals.
Yeah. Giroud, probably similar amount.
Mm.
Right.
Lovely.
Is that all the games?
Front 3, back 4. Is that it?
Yep.
All right. Has anyone got theirs ready?
I don't know. I'm just looking. Have I even written any this week?
Have
Oh,
you-
yeah.
All right. Well, look, I've got mine ready, so I'll go first. Yeah. Sound good?
Yeah,
Sound good with
go
you, Rory?
first.
I'll go first. Yeah. You should right with that, Mark. Yeah. I'll go first.
Go on.
I'll go
Yeah, do
first, and then we'll go in a circle. All right. All right. In my front 3 this week is French rugby. They had a fantastic come from behind the win to beat Wales and stopping them from getting their Grand Slam in the Rugby Six Nations this weekend. To be fair, I think that Wales threw that game away. I think they were like 10 or 12 points ahead of France, and just France didn't even try and win that game. And I have no idea how it happened. It's one of the most exciting Six Nation games you're probably going to see in a long time. And they just absolutely stole that game, and I have no idea. And Wales should just be absolutely disappointed. I mean, Wales weren't, I don't even think they were even discussed before the tournament to even be within sight of winning it, and to then actually have the chance to win a Grand Slam, which is difficult. Like usually you find a lot of these teams sort of stumble at the last hurdle. But
How often is a Grand Slam in the Six Nations? Is it like a once a decade thing or once every 3 years thing?
maybe
I
once
wouldn't
every 2 or 3 seasons potentially.
It was a very long time, and then in the last sort of 5-6
Yeah.
years, it feels like it's
Quite a
happened.
lot. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
on average.
Didn't
Um,
Ireland do it in like 2009?
I think Oh, I
Something
don't know
like
that yet. but-
I'd have to look it up. I'm not good with this stuff, but yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't know. Wales just ended up having so many absolute nightmares when it comes to penalties. I think they had two players sent in their sin bin in the last 10 minutes, and they could have had a third. And France ended up having a red card for someone, which was ridiculous. So absolutely threw that away. So unlucky for them. Alan Wynne-Jones on his last, I think it might be his last game for Wales, not getting a chance to get his Grand Slam, but. You know, discipline is everything, especially now when rugby referees are really just getting on top of players about their antics around the breakdown. Players are getting sent off left, right, and centre. So unlucky for them.
Back four.
In my back four this week is social justice warriors, or protests rather, peaceful protests. I don't know if any of you have seen up in Bristol. Where a lot of the silly stuff seems to be happening lately. There were some protests about, what was it? Peaceful protests. And they decided to have their protests for their rights to have peaceful protests by smashing the city to pieces and putting police cars on fire and breaking down shops and arguing to kill the bill and all of this nonsense. And probably not the best example for your point, but, you know, kids will be kids.
There seems to be quite a few recently, and quite a few that seem to get almost hijacked by a few sort of like, just every protest now seems to be like just getting a bit out of control. Like,
Well, I've been saying for a long time. I think there's two things that happen with this. One, I think protest or protesting is overprescribed. It's so like for every week there seems to be a protest about one thing or the other, and the thing that annoys me about it is like a lot of people say, oh well, it's better than nothing. We just need to, support the cause and do this and that and the other. And actually, it's not better than nothing because one, it's very divisive, and because it's divisive, it's becoming more violent, and there's more vitriol between it. And also I think that a lot of these people are seeing that, probably without even knowing, that their protests are so ineffective that they need to just ramp it up to try and get themselves in the limelight a bit more, so they just start smashing things. And yeah, I don't know, I mean, you're not gonna do anything worth anything if you're gonna keep doing it like this. Why don't you just give it a break for a year? I mean, this was the perfect time to give it a break during the time where you shouldn't be congregating outside. How about you just chill out, maybe take a chill pill, and then come back when it hasn't happened, I don't know, 4 days beforehand for something silly as fucking broken biscuits. I got no idea.
If they open the Weatherspoons, they'd have somewhere to go, wouldn't they?
Yeah, but there you go. Right, where's this circle? All our circles are different. Go on, Monk, you just go ahead.
all right, my back four, probably similar to Wales. It might be celebrating too early, might be the theme, but
Ooh.
I don't know if any of you caught the UFC this weekend, but in my back four is Kevin Holland. So
I can't stand the guy.
yeah, Kevin Holland, knockout artist, pretty good to watch. Fought 4 times last year, which is impressive considering there was a gap when no sport was being done, and he sort of made a name for himself.
And
but
4 times is a lot on any given year, by the way.
oh yeah, like it's funny when fighters are rising stars how quickly they can get fit, isn't it? And yeah, but basically he was gloating. It's nothing new with him. He talks the whole way through the fight. He gloats, but he was just losing every single round comfortably. There was arguably a couple of potential 10-8 rounds.
Oh, is this the guy that was shouting while he was meant to be having a fight?
Yeah,
I
and he was
saw that.
shouting to Khabib, who was illegally streaming the fight from the side of the cage. And
Dana's supposed to be stopping it, and he's like, "Oh, well, I'm just going to get the guy sitting right next to me."
anything to get the guy out of retirement. But yeah, it's like he's shouting to Khabib, "Tell me when he's going to do the shot. Tell me when he's going to do the shot." Gets taken down. He's shouting, "Why didn't you tell me that he was going to do the shot?" And it was like, but every time he caught the guy, he really wobbled him. But it was just head wasn't in the game. I know he's thinking about money and thinking, if I'm controversial, I'm quite fun to watch. That gets you the pay-per-view money. As Conor McGregor's proved. But yeah, it was just, you got to win, especially on your way up now.
Well, that's it. Like it got to the point where it was a bit cringe the way he was doing it. Like it just was so inappropriate. And the thing is, you're right. Like you have to win fights to sort of back that talk. Like, do you know what I mean? I'm going to talk, but I'm not going to back it myself up. Is ridiculous. And this was his first main event, and that's because last year, he started to get some steam behind him, and fans were following him, and they gave him this main event against a good fighter to put his name out there, and he just absolutely just messes it up by acting. And I thought he doesn't talk. He talks, but he doesn't talk this much, and the way he was doing it was just so dumb. And maybe he just got caught by the moment, but yeah, he's probably ruined his chance of ever being a star in the UFC, probably.
Yeah. Well, he'll now, one thing it does do, it creates an excuse. So he'll have one more fight where he can blame it and say, do you know what? Sorry, I got caught up. Head's in the game. My training camp's the best ever. Fitness, nutrition's the best ever. So it gives him one more shot.
Well, he did that. He said afterwards, "Oh, everyone's hating on me, and you can keep hating, but I'm always going to talk." And then I think like 5 minutes later, he sent another post saying, "I'm just going to put my head down and try harder, and we'll be back."
I have no issue with him talking to the opponent though. That's gamesmanship. During the fight, chat shit to the guy in the ear, but don't be talking to people outside the cage thinking you're Max Holloway.
Yeah, but it's like that guy at the pub who just carries on that joke too long. Like the first time he makes a joke and you're laughing about it, and then 10 minutes later he's like, "Oh, do you remember when I made that joke earlier? Oh, you're not crazy." Like, no, you're not crazy. You're not nuts. You're just a dickhead at this point.
Yeah. So Kevin Holland back for front three. You mentioned Weatherspoons, but any of you heard of the Colton Tavern, the pub in
No.
Maida Vale?
Why do I
Well,
know
I
that?
have, but I don't know why.
Yeah.
So back in 2015,
That's a
it
good
was-
setup, boys. You've been
Yeah.
planned this, didn't you?
So in 2015, they tried to knock it down to build flats, and then the government ruled it was a listed building. So the developers were like, well, if we just knock it down, no one will care. And a few years ago, the government were like, no, this was a listed building. You had no right to knock it down. You can't build your flats. So stop building your flats, and you have to rebuild brick by brick exactly the pub how it was before you
Amazing.
knocked it down.
That is
And now
legendary.
it's finished, and they're saying it will open on April 12th. So
Oh, we're definitely going.
Wow.
So
That's
yeah,
a pretty
20
cool story, but also that's about a 70 quid cab for most of us to get home.
Maida Vale.
just
No,
for you.
Uber's got Uber's got some great deals at the minute.
I saw that actually 20% off or 40% off your next journey or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah, it's funny. Uber's like, don't use a cab unless you have to. It's 50% off your next 10 rides. Use
Yeah.
it before the 27th of March. You're like, what?
Yeah.
I've got to take 10 cab rides in the
Yeah,
next
where am I
3
going?
days. Yeah, essential
So-
travel only.
Yeah.
There's a couple of new cabs coming to London that are coming into market. One's called Black Lane Cars, and I can't remember what the other one is, but they're big apps in like America and elsewhere. They're going to come and take on Uber because of the ruling that's happened. So we should start to see a few more options.
Yeah, well, as long as there's options. I remember the days. We used to just try random phone numbers to get.
I know.
cabs.
Do you remember? Yeah, do you remember that? Ah.
Hello, can I have a
Those-
cab, please? And you just don't know if it's going to turn up half
Well,
an
you
hour
walk
later.
for miles to get to that button, the cab button.
Yeah.
You just do you dial like 0207 264 6666 and then you try 7777.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
88.
Yeah.
I'm just glad I'm not falling asleep on night buses anymore. There's too many trips to Barnet after.
I was thinking, that's actually quite good for me these days.
I missed the night bus though. There was some
The
stories.
sick around your feet, and that lovely smell of it's just brilliant.
So,
The N71 or whatever it was back to Hendon when we was at uni was just a mess, and you'd end up at Brent Cross Shopping Centre if you fell asleep on it. It was just horrendous gaff. I'd rather pay the 20 quid for a taxi.
yeah. Well, maybe we will April 12th at the Carlton Tavern.
That'd
The
be very
official
nice.
All Talk
I don't
FC
know.
out of lockdown drinks.
I don't know. Yeah, have you not seen the cost of a pint these days? Goodness me, I might just leave it.
We didn't say we had to buy a pint from there. We just said we got to be outside there with our cans.
Go on, Rory. Go ahead.
Right, I will do front three first. I'm going to say Manuel Pellegrini. He came into the Real Betis job. This has been this is the second time I've managed to shoehorn Betis into a conversation.
Was that Canales you mentioned?
It was Canales I mentioned, yeah. He came into the Betis job a while ago. West Ham fans told me that it was going to be a waste of money. His tactics were outdated, etc., etc. And now with 10 games to go in La Liga, Betis are 2 points off of the top 6 and a potential return to Europe after 2 seasons, which means if they draw a British team, then we'll be having an All Talk FC jaunt to somewhere in the UK to sit in the away end with 1,500 beard up, noisy Andalusians to cheer on the greatest team in Spain. So I'm just really happy for Pellegrini. I'm happy for the job he's doing. They had a great win on Friday night against Levante, a comfortable 2-0. And if you, I'm not sure if I put it on the All Talk Twitter, but Nabil Fekir scored an absolute worldie. Picked the ball up on halfway, skinned someone else, dribbled to the edge of the 6-yard box and rolled it through the keeper's legs. Absolutely outstanding. So, yeah, I'm just really pleased. Betis have had a pretty crappy couple of years before Pellegrini turned up, culminating in like Setien going ages with like having 80% possession and losing 1-0 before he got the Barca job. So yeah, I'm really pleased with Betis at the minute.
And sounding like Danny's first 3 months of All Talk
Yeah.
with his front three, back fourth.
Oh,
Yeah. Although Betis are 6th.
they are they're
They're
seventh.
6th.
They're
No.
sixth.
Oh,
Yeah.
look at that breaking
They're-
news! Breaking
they're
news!
Breaking news. Do you know what it was?
Technically joint 5th. just on goal difference.
Wow.
Do you know what? I've had a mare. So right, in that case, they are in the top 6. I thought they were 2 points outside, but it's actually Villarreal that are 2 points outside. Am I right?
Yeah.
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 So, yeah.
Big fan you are, Rory. Big fan.
But well, I checked. I assumed that they were. Well, I got it wrong. Sorry, guys.
Well,
but yeah,
it could have changed. Yeah.
Right, delete this. We're starting again.
I'll
We're doing
edit
the
this
whole
start the
out.
thing.
whole lot again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come
So,
on.
yeah,
Welcome
that's
to a very
Arsenal.
special episode of All Talk FC.
So yeah, sorry. It's joint 5th. A return to Europe would be absolutely amazing. And yeah, I've always wanted. So I've been to the Via Marine to watch them.
How do you travel, Rory?
I do travel. I don't know if I've mentioned that before.
Been a tough year, is it?
It's been a very tough year for me. I haven't been anywhere this year actually. Even last year, I only managed to get to Morocco and America. So it's been really tough for
Tough
for
time.
me and the family.
Tough middle class problems.
Difficult. It's difficult.
Remember, middle class problems used to be a fun thing.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, but
please-
also farmers. Go on, carry on.
also farmers. Yeah. Back 4. I'm going to go with Broxbourne Council, which is my local council. They've decided
Farmers Council.
Farmers Council. They've decided to not collect my rubbish for the last 8 weeks, right? So
I'm getting in. We're going down there and we're throwing fireworks at the bloody police station.
we are honestly
8 weeks.
8 weeks because apparently
That's a load of rubbish.
yeah, I know. Apparently they won't pick up the recycling bins if the lids don't close down completely. So because the recycling bins were overflowing from pretty much Christmas, none of them were able to close. So the bin men just walk into like our apartment block, look at the bins, shake their heads and walk off. And I'm not even exaggerating. I witnessed this morning. And yeah, so I've been on the phone to the housing.
Your
You're
area
like-
too middle class. Do you know if they didn't collect the rubbish for 1 week where in Islington,
Bonfire.
that would just be on the main roads.
Well, that's
Someone
that,
would literally just empty their recycling.
that's what I said.
on the
I
road.
said to my mate today, actually, I said, it's getting to the point now where we've got a spare room just absolutely full of cardboard. I'm just going to chuck it out on the street, but then I don't want to be like done with a grand fine. So I need to weigh out my options.
What you need to do is you need to just stick it all in your car, drive to a dump.
I've got a boot full of cardboard at the minute, but it doesn't solve that like the other 12 because our apartment block's 12 flats. It doesn't solve the other 12 people's rubbish.
Look, the rubbish men have clearly found a loophole because they're like, well, if the lids don't close, we won't collect it. But if they don't collect it, the lids won't close. You see how that works?
Exactly.
So all
Exactly.
you need to do, Rory, use your brain, take some of the bags out, put them at the side of the bin, close the lid. They will take the bins from the bins, and just empty those. You'll have another empty bin and refill
Okay.
the bin.
Unless they walk and they
bin.
see the mess, because it's going to get to the point where they can't actually get to the bin.
Yeah,
Do
but
you know
just,
what? This
put,
is an
just put
ongoing.
them a few yards away from the bins. There you
This
go.
is an
job done.
ongoing situation. I shall update yourselves and our listeners at the end of next week's show to see if the bin situation has improved.
This stinks of bent coppers. This
Bent
Alright.
coppers.
So
is that
what's
where
your
you're going?
what's your council called?
Broxbourne.
Oh, Broxbourne.
So all fans
Oh.
just tweet at Broxbourne Council.
At
Let them know
Broxbourne.
that Rory Duffy is in trouble and needs
yeah.
their help. All right.
Can
Rory
you,
Duffy
can
is
you
absolutely-
tweet Louis Tomlinson? I hear he's got some good fans. They're good at petitioning.
Yeah, Louis Tomlinson's fans are good. We need to get him on board. We need to get Louis Tomlinson on board with all of our problems, actually.
Oh.
Very
Oh.
good.
Go on, Danny. Finish us off.
So my front three this week is those wonderful Reddit investors. They are back. The Wall Street Bets guys, our favourite, the guys who bought those fantastic things like GameStop to the world. They've actually done good. So I don't know if you've seen in the news last week or this
Done
week,
well.
but the amateur investors in the subreddit Wall Street Bets, they often refer to themselves as apes. They talk a lot about apes strong together and diamond hands and, never sell. They've got so much money they don't know what to do with that they decided to donate, and they ended up donating £350,000 to the gorilla funds. So they've been adopting not just gorillas, because that's where they started, and they adopted something like 3,500 gorillas, it was reported. They then got so excited once they finished sort of donating as much as they could to all the different gorilla sanctuaries. They then just started donating it to elephant sanctuaries, to well, there's a whole list of them. Where are they? Sea turtles, pangolins, all sorts. And this is what. And when one of them was asked, "Why are you doing this?" I really liked it. He said, "This is the sort of crap that happens when people unaccustomed to having money suddenly get some."
Do you know what this is? This sounds like some monkey business.
Yeah.
So congratulations to the Wall Street Bets at Reddit. Well done, doing something good with their money, unlike Wall Street themselves. Who just
Finally, the internet has done something good.
Can you give us some of these tips before they happen next? I could really do with a spare 300 grand.
I mean, it's an open Reddit, so
Rory,
you can just go on it.
Have you heard of something called Football Index?
Yeah. Now's
it's
a really
still
good
too
time
soon,
to invest.
In the summer, we need an episode
Too
dedicated to Football Index.
We've not done it in 3 years. We're not doing it now.
Although we won't repeat what I said on our group chat the day before.
Do you know
yesterday.
what, Rory? You and Danny can do it. It's international break, and we know how that goes. I bet. Sorry. Back for Danny. Go on.
Yeah. It's only a silly one, but I heard it on the radio the other day, and I laughed. So I thought, why not? It was a.
Go on.
Yeah, it's really stupid, but a 50-year-old man has broken the record for failing his driving test 192 times.
Jesus.
192 times. He set a new record.
A lot.
But now he's incentivized to just fail. Like,
yeah.
Why? He obviously wants a driving license.
If someone fails it 193 times, he's like, I might as well just fail it 2 more. It's just that.
Well, yeah. So he, unfortunately, he's 17 years and about nearly £10,000 he spent in exam fees.
That's a lot.
He has still not passed his driving test 192 times. So congratulations to that man. We wish him well and hope one day that he passes.
10 grand. That's a lot of Jadon Sancho shares on Football Index.
That just doesn't make sense to me. I don't understand how you get to that point.
He's never had a lesson.
Yeah.
He's learning on the job. It's like, what the heck?
To be fair, that's what I thought the first time I got in a car with Chris.
To be fair to him, I mean, he's probably done his 10 hours that you got to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Jesus Christ.
17 years and 192 tests.
I mean, unless he's like an absolute granny driver and he's just going that slow. I need to read up into this. This is like a phenomenon.
How many times did everyone here fail, or did anyone pass first time?
I failed. I passed on my 3rd time, and I got robbed the first 2 times easy.
Yeah, but that's because you were driving around Islington.
Mans was driving with one arm out the window, blood. That's how I do it. Safety first, you get me.
My first time. Were you not?
Yeah, first time.
No messing around.
I say that confidently now, but I remember my leg when I did the clutch, and my knee was just like shaking. You're like, oh, I remember.
I was so nervous. I didn't turn the car. I got in the car. I remember, and then he said, "Okay, when you're ready." And I literally put my seatbelt on. I put it into first gear, checked my mirrors, and he went, "You're gonna turn it on." I was like, "This hasn't started yet." Hasn't started. He was like, "No, that's fine. Go on when you're ready."
Yeah,
I
failed 3 times. It's just absolutely. I hate driving tests. I hated driving lessons more, but yeah, I'm still not the best driver.
See, I think that's where I went wrong. I was too arrogant the first time. I was like, "There's absolutely no way I'm failing." I got 2 minors, 1 major, and then he goes to me, "You failed." I went, "Fuck off, you're lying." Straight. There was absolutely no way. And he goes, "Yeah, there was a point where I was going too slow." I was like, "Oh, you're joking." Come
That
on.
is such a Chris way to fail.
Yeah. the second time, right, went out, did it in Barnet, Dan, right, crossed over the road, went to a turning where the road just kind of like veered to the right and there was cars parked on either side. I was turning, a car came the opposite way. I went a little bit wider. The instructor just stopped the car. And I was like, "What are you doing?" He goes, "Oh, you're about to take the car on the left." "No, I weren't." He goes, "I can't take that chance." I said, "Of course you can. It's my test." Like, 1 minute in, I crossed the road and I'd failed the test, and he was like, "Do you want to carry on?" I was like, "What's the point? What am I
I'm
doing?"
trying to see why you got robbed. The attitude.
He was trying to chat
Yeah.
with me during the rest of the test. I was just fuming. He's like, "Oh yeah, so it's a nice day, innit? Oh, you got no chance, mate. You better get the fuck out of here." Yeah,
Very good.
passed it though, thank God. Eventually, great driver. Right, yeah, as you said, Mark, international football is upon us, which means we'll have even more things not to talk about, but maybe we'll give it a go. Right, we'll see you next week on All Talk FC. All right, see you guys.
Bye.
Right.
Hey.